Okay, I'll call the meeting to order September 12th, 2012, Tennessee Collection Service Board. Ms. Hancock, if you will call the roll.
Bart Howard.
Here.
Elizabeth Trinkler. Here. Elizabeth Dixon. Here. And Chip Hellman.
Here.
Mr. Chairman, you have a floor.
Has everyone had an opportunity to review the agenda for today? And if you have, are there any corrections or additions that you'd like to add to that?
I'll make a motion to adopt the agenda.
A motion's been made to be adopted. Is there a second?
Second.
And second, all in favor?
Aye.
We've all had an opportunity to read the minutes. They were late. I think it was at least 45 minutes before I got back to the office.
They're on the computer.
They were on the computer, so I don't know how you do it, sir.
Get her done.
Hey,
Get
yeah,
out,
buddy.
get it on.
Are there any other questions or any additions that anybody wants to make to the minutes?
Make a motion to adopt the minutes.
Motion's been made that we adopt the minutes from the last meeting. Is there a second?
Second.
And second, all in favor? Aye. I suppose, could we skip? There he is.
Just in time, in the middle of time.
Give Chris just a minute to get organized. Thank you, sir.
Thanks, Chris.
Okay, we'll call on Chris Whitaker, our general counsel, for his legal report.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
I waited until you got a mouthful.
Yeah, that was awesome. I like to do that when I'm talking to people as well. As you can see, just from a brief review of the legal report, there are 38 complaints for consideration today. A good majority of them, you'll see you have multiple items, items 2 through 7, and then items 8 through 21 are all basically in the same boat. I try to describe them as best I could, generally speaking. I mean, I have gone through each and every one of these cases with our litigation counsel. One of the things that I think I kind of bring to the table that perhaps Mr. Bond did not, simply because he had never tried any cases at formal hearing before, to the best of my knowledge, is looking at cases not only from, okay, what happened, but also what is necessary to prove these cases at a formal hearing, and if we do go there, what's the possible outcome? And with that in mind, that's the reason for the reconsideration of items 2 through 21 for the recommended disposition therein. Items 2 through 7, be recommending a letter of warning. Items 8 through 21, be recommending dismissal outright. The main issue with these complaints, as I said before, centers around proof problems. I mean, we do still have to meet at least a preponderance of the evidence standard that for the purposes of the formal hearing. You know, a few cases, I don't think we could get to a formal hearing because some of these entities are completely wiped out off the grid and never be seen again. Others, you know, maybe there's some evidence of violation, but not enough to get to the necessary legal standard. And then still others, you have, especially in the letter of warning cases, you know, had like a $250 civil penalty recommendation for failure to respond, and that's the only allegation. I mean, that's just one example. But you also have to consider the time, resources, and effort necessary to expend to not only bring these to a formal hearing, but to successfully prosecute. And I think we've come up short in some of those as well. And so those are the reasons for the recommendations. If you know, as always, the board can and should read through my descriptions, and if there are any specific questions about what I've written, recommendations, or case and fact summaries, I'd be glad to answer.
I think sometimes we need to treat these agencies like all of us that have children, treat our children and never lie to them. If you tell them you want a $250 fine, then you have to be very proactive. $250, if you don't, it's a lie. And I tend to agree with your assessment, Mr. Whitaker, that we don't tend to go after these people that we don't need to be. I do think that strong letters of warning, strong letters of caution are important to put in the file to build the case for future fines that we tend to go after.
And to that end, Mr. Chairman, I'd also like to note for the record that one thing that I like to do, especially in these cases where, you know, it's kind of a close call, is I don't want to send this letter to, you know, the person who is, you know, one step up from the claims handler. You know, the ground level employees, God bless them, they're necessary to run the business. The next level supervisors, definitely necessary to supervise those employees. But honestly, the kind of changes that sometimes need to be made are cultural and management level changes at these agencies, whether it be dealing with, you know, how reps treat people on the phone, or you know, any number of other things. And I really think only the people in charge, whose name is on the bottom line, if something does go sideways and their license gets in trouble or they're facing a big money penalty, I think those are the folks to talk to early on and to get these letters to and to communicate with. And I've done that in several of these cases. Say, look, you know, this is going to be my recommendation, but it's a very close call, and I'm not at all certain that I would be inclined to be so lenient in the future with my recommendations, or that the board would be so lenient in accepting them. And understand that complaint histories are taken into account when we look at this stuff. And, you know, because you haven't been before us a bunch of times before, then, you know, it's much easier for me to say, all right, you know, slap on the wrist, we're going to give you a shot to fix this, letter of warning. But if you come back before us with the same thing, we can prove it, it's going to be a problem. And I think and hope that will seriously cut down on some of this stuff, at least vis-a-vis the repeat offenders.
That ultimately protecting the consumer, and that's what we want to do to stop those things. Didn't we decide some kind of thing we would direct our complaint letters to the management? That was what we did.
We do that in the office. We
Okay.
address.
So
But-
it's not, it's going, maybe going to an underling, but if it's the authorized collection service manager, he has more to do, I suppose. Anyway, he may not be the president of the company, but.
No, and I didn't, if it came across this way, I certainly didn't mean to, you know, denigrate or otherwise impugn the efforts or stature of a location manager, because as long as the statute's on the books require require agencies to have one to perform a function, and it helps us out. But what I had seen in some previous cases, especially back in, 08, 09, several years ago, is that it would just be, okay, well, whoever answered whoever responded to the complaint, and it wasn't always the location manager or somebody in charge, that's who the response from us in legal would go back to. And that's fine and well, but sometimes that's the appropriate person to handle it, sometimes it isn't. And you have to do the work and dig in and figure that out, because maybe the kind of changes that need to be made, that person is not as efficient position in the company to make that happen.
Do you decide that maybe the response that you received is from somebody that's really not going to really affect any change? And
It's a case
call
by,
up and say, hey, let me talk to your boss, or?
it's a case-by-case evaluation. Sometimes, it's very clear that I'm speaking with someone who, is kind of at the ground level of accounts and stuff, and if it is limited to that account, problem an issue, then that probably is who I need to speak to, because it doesn't look like a culture or management level problem within the agency, especially after looking at their prior complaint report history. Then yeah, okay, we'll go with that. But if I'm seeing the same company, this is the third time, maybe they've got 2 dismissals and a letter of warning. Okay, yeah, I'll talk to that person about this account, but let me talk to your compliance manager, your compliance counsel, if you have one, because maybe they don't know, maybe they do, but maybe they don't. And that's what those folks are paid for. And if they don't know about issues, they certainly can't fix or address them. And I think any fair-minded person in such a position would appreciate the opportunity to know about this stuff and try and head it off, because the best day of a compliance counsel is when you never hear from the regulator. So
I think those of us that have been in the place business appreciate the fact that we don't know what our folks are doing forward, and so it is.
Thank you, Mr. Whitaker. Do you want us to question each one as we get to them, or do you want to go read all of them and then come back?
Typically the way that I've done it previously with my other program, the accountancy board, is I'll have the board members read through it all, and if there are any questions, just make some notes as you go, and then we'll open the floor up for questions and discussion, and if there are any changes that need to be made, we can make them, and then we can either vote to accept the report as written or vote to accept it as written, except with the changes that came up as a result of questions and discussion.
I have a question about, I guess it's 22 and 23.
Sure.
Essentially, this agency has filed for Chapter 7 bankruptcy and is closed.
Yes, their website's gone, their phone numbers no longer work. I was able to get in touch with the Chapter 7 bankruptcy court over in Memphis and confirm that they did in fact file a Chapter 7 petition. I have a case number. I don't have copies of the documents because I just don't have them and I don't have access to them. But to your point, no, they do not appear to be doing business any longer. One of the complaints was for failure to remit proceeds, and that's definitely concerning. At the same time, their surety bond coverage has been revoked because we have a letter on file from their surety bond carrier dated the same month as their bankruptcy filing, that I'm almost positive that they revoked it for non-payment of premiums.
Yeah, well, here's my question.
Okay.
The very last sentence of your recommendation says, if it's expected the respondent agency remains closed and does not attempt to conduct further business in Tennessee, its license shall be closed immediately upon its expiration. My question is, why would we wait? Maybe I'm missing something here, but if somebody's closed, they have no surety bond, they are not remitting to their clients, would we not just revoke their license immediately? Why would we just, or maybe it doesn't.
Summarily revoke a license, it's property, and you have to go through court in order to.
So you just have to leave it.
Exercise.
Okay. Well, that answers my question.
And I did make a note of that in the summary. I did check into the expiration date of their license, and with the schedule of our litigation counsel, the earliest that a formal hearing would even be able to be brought is in 2013, and that by the time we get it on the docket, ALJ here,
Okay.
they're done.
All right. Thank you.
Is it possible though, Chris, that that bond was in effect at the time when the non-remittance occurred? I know you said it's been revoked now, but if that was something that had happened back in the past or maybe for some time, is it worth at least letting, was it a client that complained?
And it is, and I already talked to the president of that company, and I told her that it's, cold comfort that the surety bond is now revoked, but if any, as you said, if any of the money that they are saying was proceeds not remitted came before the revocation date of the policy, then they still may have a
So
claim.
you did make her aware of that, give her that information?
Right,
That's all.
and I also gave her the information for the Chapter 7 bankruptcy trustee and for the attorney who is representing this entity in court, so that if by some set of circumstances they are able to file a claim with the bankruptcy court, any distribution that they could get, as a creditor would be better than nothing. So.
Good. No, I just want to make sure that we've done everything to try to take care of the client.
Good point, though. When you dismiss a complaint, do you send a letter to the respondent and the complainant? Is it counsel? In case it's been dismissed?
As for the staff, I believe you'd have to ask them, but I typically do notify, let me rephrase that, the folks who I'm speaking with at the respondent, whether it's an attorney or whatever their position is. If we've talked about phone, I'll call. If we've corresponded by email, I'll email. If they request a letter from me on letterhead and they say, well, it's fine if we get something from the staff, if they do, but we would like something from you because you're the attorney handling the case, then I do that. But just whatever method we use to communicate, that's how I get in touch with them.
I think I'm thinking more of the consumer. Is he satisfied that he given the, if I was a consumer and I complained and I really thought I had a complaint and I got, they were dismissing your complaint, that wouldn't be enough for me. I want to know why and what more so forth. Do you have explanations to them?
They're not case specific, I don't think. Is it
Well, when we receive your closure memo, Chris's closure letter, and he'll say dismissed, no further action, or dismissed, unable to, whatever reason he puts on that closure memo is what we send to the complainant.
and I have had a couple of folks who were complainants who have called and asked me for more specific information, and I'm always happy to respond to those phone calls and tell them, hey, look, I understand what you're saying. And I can think of one example in particular, and I sympathize with them. I said, look, I don't like what happened to you, okay? But the problem is the proof that I had does not fit into any state or federal law or regulation that the
I'll also tell complainants that call me, why did the board dismiss this? To go look at the video, hear what the attorney presented, hear what his recommendation was, and hear what the board decided.
Take a good look at their faces.
And they get through the first 3 or 4 minutes of the video.
Well, I will say you were number 30 on the complaint report, and they'll hear the discussion, so they know no more than a letter will say just dismissed. So smile for the camera.
I've tried to watch it, and even myself, I can't even.
Yeah, I know.
Life's too short, isn't it?
It is.
You'd rather watch paint dry?
I'd rather watch a grass growing.
Well, if you could fast forward it and come back and maneuver or manipulate the speed and time, but it's so hard to catch up on the video and move it backward and forward. So
Yeah.
Susan has to look at some of it sometimes for the minutes.
And then don't you have to edit out times like when Bart wants to come to here and stuff?
You are.
Don't have any further questions, Mr. Chairman.
On number 1, you recommended $5,000 penalty. What are the I know our statutory limit's $1,000. What are the 5 things?
Well, it's $1,000 per violation per day, so that's not the same thing. I'll be honest with you. I think that $5,000 is a completely fair offer for these folks, and frankly, if they rejected that offer, I'd be seeking double that on them, because
Bad people.
I don't want to say bad people, but it's with this particular case, I mean, they, at least as I understand it, they have harangued and bothered this man quite to death. You know,
How long has he been licensed?
this agency, I want to say 3 or 4 years. I can't remember if it's like 08 or 09, but it's not like they've been in business for 30 years.
Have they had other complaints? Can you answer that, or is that an inappropriate question?
There is one other complaint that is open against them, but it's pending in litigation monitoring because it's a subject of a civil lawsuit that frankly needs to be resolved before the board takes action. It was actually on our last complaint. And some of the allegations are the same, but there's no civil litigation right now, at least not yet. I mean, who knows, this guy, the complainant can hire an attorney tomorrow. But short of that, this would be a pretty decent test case to, see what these folks are about, and how they're going to respond, what they're going to do.
A couple of questions. Is this one of those that you spoke with the guy that's in charge? You've talked to this company?
Well, it's interesting you could ask that. They have a designated person who handles this stuff. I think it's like a lead complaint specialist or something. But this particular entity is it's not a parent. I mean, it has a parent company that's international, so it's a U.S. subsidiary. And apparently they've been, I don't know if it's buying up or assignment, but obtaining the rights to collect on a lot of debts for, one of the major financial companies in the world. So, they're gaining some market share and they're going to be around. Yeah. But yes, I'm talking to the person who they have designated to do this. Now, if they get a consent order from me on the letterhead saying, you need to pay this money, and if you did something wrong, it might go to someone else. And in fact, in a company of this size, I feel pretty certain it hit their legal department pretty quick. And that's all fine and well.
Is this I assume this is a Tennessee consumer that's complaining? A company that size likely has complaints in other parts of the country.
No, I'm sorry, Susan just brought up my pictures 2011. I apologize, since it's regularly been licensed.
Okay, and that was the other thing I was gonna ask. We used to have
I had them last time, and I apologize, Mr. Chairman, I didn't get it this time. I had, I mean, it was literally right up until this morning. I had just been flooded with information on the cases coming in the last 2 or 3 days, and I wanted to process it all and get it in and get the case numbers and everything before you.
That's fine. That's fine.
It is helpful to have that.
Once again, a company that size, apparently they're big. Do you feel like that there was an individual vendetta against this one particular person, or do you think that this is what they're doing to everybody?
Well, I hesitate to say everybody because I've only seen the few complaints that they have. However, as I've heard it said before, history doesn't repeat itself, but it often rhymes. Even though the other cases currently, part of a class action lawsuit, litigation and all that, the allegations are not just eerily similar, they're borderline identical. And so that is a little bit concerning, and having had a chance to not dig in 100%, but at least have a pretty good look at their contracts, it looks to me like they serve the subprime auto market when it comes to auto notes, because that's the subject of both of these cases. I mean, you get cars, I mean, they're all right cars, I mean, they'll get you where you need to go, but, because their credit scores are in the toilet, they sign up for, 29.99% interest or something crazy like that, and then, they miss, of course, because they're subprime borrowers, and they miss several payments, and they're late, and their deferrals and interest is compounded, and it gets bad in a hurry.
Well, but generally speaking, the collection agency is going to make money because it collects money. It's not going to make profit by beating up people who can't pay.
True.
We just don't do that. And it's to our advantage in the industry to find the ones that can pay, and if they can't get it, find the ones that can't pay and leave them alone. But if there's some reason that this company is 100 calls in a week, they can't afford to do that if there isn't any money in this thing.
Well, and in this case, I think you had mentioned one group that can't pay and another group of consumers that can't pay. Well, what about those people that are sort of in the ether, in the gray area, that, well, in truth and point of fact, they really probably can't pay. That the money that they do end up turning over to the agencies, because they're, however they were convinced that they need or have to, whether it's keep their car or otherwise, they move stuff around, pull money from somewhere, and so they make a payment and they get okay and they're good for a month, but then they got to put back what they took from last time, and so 30 days later they're back in the same space, and it keeps going like that, and then they're late and more. So,
We can sit here and talk about it all day long, but if the only hammer, this is still America, you don't go to jail for money.
right.
And the only hammer that these people have is taking his car or suing. And if you can't do one or the other, then you don't have any leverage on these people. Sit and call them 100 times is not. All that is some collector or some supervisor. It's their ex-husband or something, or there's some sort of a personal vendetta. And I want to make sure that we get to the bottom of that if that's the case. And one other thing, we can move on unless anybody else has any questions. You mentioned in here that they charged more than they actually owed. A lot of times in the contract that the debtor signs, they agree to pay certain fees, and I just want to make sure that we're not penalizing these people for collecting what they have a legal right to attempt to collect.
Well, and I appreciate the question, Mr. Chairman. If you'll notice, the first sentence of all of my case summaries are the complaint alleges that. That does not mean that that's what happened. That's what the complainant says happened. And then after the first sentence is when I describe, okay, out of the 1 or 2 or 3 allegations that were made, what do we know, what can we prove, what don't we have evidence of. In this case, I feel pretty certain that regardless of the other two harassment phone calls probably can be proved at formal. And I did review the contract in question, and there are rights to collect certain fees, and I think they, for the most part, have done that. I mean, there may be a few dollars here or there, but I think they're right in the ballpark there.
Anybody else have any questions?
I don't.
Make a motion to accept the legal report.
Second.
Wow. Motion been made and seconded, do we accept the legal report? Thank you, Mr. Wilkins. Excellent job. Ms. Hancock, administrator, or location manager.
All righty. Well, we finally have some good news to report on the location manager exam. Contract has been finalized with the testing firm, PSI Inc., has agreed to administer the exam for a year. So Monday, we got up on the internet a notice that tells everyone who's been calling us 500 times a day where the exam is, when it's going to be, what's the news. The notice on our website says, please be advised that the department is in the process of finalizing arrangements with an independent educational testing organization to begin administering examinations for the location manager license. We expect exams to begin in October 2012. Further information will be posted on this website regarding the cost and content of exams, study materials, locations, and how to register to sit for the exams. So, this afternoon I have a conference call with Mr. Alon Schwartz with PSI. We're going to talk about the information they're going to put out on the internet, on the website, when, where they'll be testing. We believe they're going to test every day. They have facilities here in Nashville where the computer's given on, the exam is given on the computer. And so we won't have to have these people wait another 120 days or so. I think the statute says that the exam must be given at least every 120 days. Isn't that right, Chris? But the contract, it allows for them to give it more than that, of course. So I think they're going to do it every day. We're going to work out those details this afternoon with Mr. Schwartz. What I do want to ask you is, the exam they're going to give, because we didn't have time for them to create another 300 item bank and for the board to have to review all of those questions before they were given, we got as many questions as we could from our old testing vendor. They released 86 questions that they said belongs to Tennessee, and those 86 questions, I believe, were already reviewed by this board back in '06 when that contract with Prometric was finalized. Do any of you remember doing that? Okay. Well, PSI had talked about having a review of those questions with a panel of experts before they started giving them, and I said, look, I think that's already been done, but I wanted to check with you at this meeting today. If you remember going over those and approving those, we won't have to do that again and take up more time. Okay. So I will make that sure that's in the minutes that the board, you did look at those questions then, they've been approved. Okay. So keep your fingers crossed. October, we currently have 225 individual location manager applicants waiting to take the test. 40 of those individuals are holding up a company being issued. So we've got 40 company applications that are waiting for their location manager to pass this test. We should have talked about this earlier with the board, but I think Chris asked or advised me to put this on the agenda. I think he's talked to his supervisor, or maybe the assistant commissioner, about issuing those 40 agencies and then let the location manager sit for the exam later, sort of making a contingency plan on them passing the test. But we're this close now. Chris, do you have any more to add to that, or any recommendations? Since we're this close to having the exam available, what do you think about
How
issuing
many,
these now?
how many computers how many workstations or exam stations do you have at one time?
You mean the testing firm? I don't know.
Well,
I don't know.
is the testing firm here in town?
No, yes.
Or you said something about it today?
No, they're not given here with the state.
Okay,
It's an
good.
independent testing
Or they have a
organization.
testing, like
They have-
Sylvan or somebody like that?
Yeah.
You know how many they can do at once?
I don't.
But is it a situation, because I remember years ago, sitting for my real estate license, I don't know how long ago that was, but you could go almost, you make an appointment, you can go almost any time, and then they check your ID and go through this process, but then you just sit down at an independent workstation. Kind of people are coming and going as they finish an exam, they get up and leave, and they can really just process. It was like, the one I went to, I thought it was a PSI center actually.
It probably was. I think they still contract with the real estate commission, but yes, that's
And there
very
was like
similar.
15 workstations or something like
So
that.
people come in, it's like when I took my pilot's license, it was the same thing. You just-
Yes, that's with the pilot's license as well.
So they ought to be able to process it.
And if they're doing it every day, then there's no, I mean, really, they should be able to handle the volume pretty quickly. The thing I like about that is people coming in from out of town can,
Come in and go home.
yeah, and they can do it around, they can work it according to their own schedule. It's not like they have to be somewhere at 8 o'clock to take a test, right? Because
Right. And I don't know how many other states PSI works with or offers exams for. I know, we do know that they have one other state they administer the location manager exam for. But if they, for example, have a facility in Oklahoma or New York, if our applicants live in that state or it's closer to them to come from India and take it in New York, if they feed that exam into their computer in another state, what are your thoughts on them taking it in another state versus flying here to Tennessee to take it?
Personally, I don't have a problem with it.
as long as the identification process is the same, make sure you have, people aren't sitting for somebody else, but if memory serves me right, with the pilot's license as well as the real estate exam, they're pretty, you gotta bring, different forms of identification and that sort of thing.
So
It's pretty
the
tight.
security of it and grading, we'll make sure those.
And the old company owns that exam, they wouldn't give that up.
No, they would not.
I suppose that if we're going to continue on with the exam, we're going to need to have a new one. I never liked that exam anyway.
Well, he's given me a rough content outline. There are a few questions on bankruptcy. There's a few questions of those 86 that Prometric turned over. Most of it's on Tennessee state law. And there will be 50 questions pulled out of those 86 at random for each applicant who sits for it. And again, they'll only do this for a year, and we'll soon have to start the contractor RFP process all over again, hoping that maybe during the legislature next year, something might change with this.
One thing that concerns me as the consumer representative is that attention be given in the exam at some point to something that Chris touched on, which was, I mean, and bear with me, but, cultural and something more that indicates someone's ability to deal with consumers than just, there needs to be more that comes to bear, a little bit, something should be in the
Consumer
exam.
relations.
Yes, exactly. And I don't know if that exists, it may not, or it may, but I'm going to be looking for that and asking about it when if that time comes, because I think it's a very important part of the job, as well as being able to know state law.
I agree. Absolutely agree.
Hard to test, but thank you, Ms. Hancock. Hallelujah.
Yes, hallelujah. I'll keep you posted on how that goes.
Because I do think it's possible to test for someone's sensibilities about situations. You know, it doesn't have to, you understand, it's not
Is there a right
A, B,
answer
C, or
a
D.
wrong answer?
We can get an idea. I think that it's fair to ask questions that let people know that we're watching. Now, how that's graded, I don't know.
Yeah. But an excellent thought, and I think for years and years we needed that.
Anyway, it's a gray area, but something we need to think about.
Okay, Ms. Hancock, you want to move next?
I will go on, but I still would like Chris to more input on the agency applications being issued before the test. What do you?
Okay, here's kind of where I'm coming down on it so far, and this is after speaking with my boss. Just the way the statutes are written, I think there's a distinction to be made between an existing agency who has simply lost their location manager for whatever reason. You know, in this case, we're talking about mostly by virtue of not being able to be relicensed. But for those folks where you're talking about already existing agencies who just lost their location manager, the Collection Service Act makes specific provision for that. 622126 says they can still operate for up to a year once they lose somebody. So I mean that should catch hopefully a good number of those. But my problem comes with issuing new stuff or a new license to an agency that has not previously existed, that does not have a location manager, because one of the requirements is a location manager, 622108, and I'm reading here. Every collection service shall have, for each location at which it conducts business, a location manager who will submit an application on the form prescribed by the board, and then it lists the qualifications. Whatever the board and staff and everyone else may think of the location manager requirement, and as long as it's a statute on the books, I think it's got to be complied with. You know, if the legislature in its wisdom in a future session sees fit to repeal it or say, hey, look, you know, we're going to go with the trend and not do this anymore, then that's going to be up to them. But as far as issuing new agency licenses, at this time, absent some law or case or something, I don't know, but I think we have a hard time doing that legally.
And help me understand, why, since we're just a month away now, why would we even, my personal opinion is that if we were where we were a few quarters ago, if we could pull it off, maybe, but if we're just a month away with a center like a PSI, people you can find out right away if you pass the exam. You don't have to wait. Is that correct?
As time has gone on, more complaints have been received by the department, by the commissioner's office, by the agencies who can't do business in Tennessee. And yes, maybe we should have talked about this 3 months ago, 6 months ago, but it's just more complaints have come in because it's just drug on for so long.
Right.
And so it was suggested by Chris's boss that we take a look at it and let you decide. And this was even put on the agenda before we knew Thursday actually, that the contract was finalized. So it's kind of,
Well, I think
now
that
the horse is in front of the cart.
The statute provides that they pass the exam. It doesn't say that they're issuing a license. So I think that if they pass the exam, like Chris said, within, Chip said, within a matter of minutes, you know that you passed it before you stand up out of the chair. They tell you passed it. And so I think that we could at that, now they're qualified to start their business. If we just have another 30 days,
I agree, I think we're so close, I think you just open up a real can of worms if you try to go down the other road.
I agree.
And we have to do that now.
And now, bear in mind, we've had some of these applications for a year, or over a year. So the information originally submitted, both with the location manager applications, their credit reports are over a year old. The agencies, their bond information, their financial report is over a year old. Of course, we make sure their bond is active, but I'm not going to go back. Don't want to go back and ask for updated information since it's been our fault they've sat here for a year. Are okay with that?
they qualified in years ago.
Yes.
Here's a, can't believe I'm saying this, but is it necessary for us to schedule a special meeting before our regularly scheduled meeting to maybe deal with any outliers? You're going to have this large volume of applications that you're trying to approve. The normal course is you wait till the next meeting and you run some of these questions by this board. Is to help accommodate for the length of time it's taken. I guess I would say I'd be willing to come to another meeting if necessary to help move through that backlog quicker.
What I've heard from the nods and on the question I just asked is even though they're a year old, once they take that test, we're going to issue that license.
Okay.
Because they've been approved, that's
Yes,
all they're
they've
waiting
All
been
right, so
approved.
you've pre-approved,
You
just
approved.
waiting. Okay,
You all
we've
have approved
All
the
right.
ones that are sitting.
So there really isn't, once they take that test, these things,
Yes, they're going to
okay,
issue.
well, that's great.
Now, you've got 11 on here today to review, 11 applications of location managers, so they'll be sent letters.
Okay,
approval.
so we've done, I got you, all right.
Okay, so we're going to not hold off, hopefully those 40 agencies will be in the first batch tested and issued. All right, one more question about location managers. On the next item on the agenda is a discussion surrounding a location manager working for more than one location. We have, we've had this discussion several times, but it's always been sort of vague on how we do that. There's nothing in the laws or rules that says a location manager has to live within a 50-mile radius of his location. What is supervising? It says full-time, but can you supervise full-time by phone or by computer now? So it's...
What's the statute say?
The definition of a location manager, 622102 sub 6. Location manager means an individual who is employed full-time at the location of a collection service and designated to be an active and responsible charge of the business of a collection service at the location at which the individual is employed. As Donna pointed out, there's no residency requirements. I mean, employed full-time. I mean, I know people who are employed full-time that have no office. They don't, they telecommute or, Skype or, come to the office when they need to. But, they're available during business hours by cell phone, email, internet, what
So is it our discretion or your discretion, or?
It says at the location.
I know.
Let's say that. I heard that, yeah.
That is a decision that I'm glad you guys are making, and not me. Because, it's a tough call, and I really believe it could be argued either way. I do think that, given that this particular statute was drafted, before the explosion of technology that has come out, just in the last little while, it may not have necessarily contemplated that, and that's why, regulatory programs are given broad discretion to interpret their laws and rules, because that keeps from having to come back and rewrite statutes, every time Apple comes out with something new. So,
At this point, it's kind of my personal opinion, I don't think that you can manage a collection office in two separate locations. I think you two offices in one location. I don't think there's anything in the statute that says you can't have 3 or 4 or 5 agencies in one office.
And don't we have that very
Remember
question?
you said that?
Everybody write yourself a note.
So,
It's coming.
Well, we have a situation right now in the office where one location manager works for 2 different locations that are 8.9 miles apart. It's a 20-minute commute. This, when I came in and started with the Collection Service Board, we had a program written by Info Systems that would catch mistakes that could have been made by staff who, they get an application for a location manager and he's already with one company, then it would stop that application if he, or bring it to our attention, if he puts down that he wants to work for this new agency under application. Well, this one got by staff, and we do have a location manager who is currently on license with 2 different agencies, 20 minutes apart.
he needs, that agency, one of the both those agencies need a letter saying they need to get a license. They need to have one agency. I don't think we should. I think we ought to be stiff on that.
I do too.
That a location manager's got to be on location. That's what it says.
All right.
And even if they are going to Sky Telecom email or whatever, it needs to be, as you said, either tethered to one location or if they're working for multiple agencies, and like you said, if they're in the same building and you can walk up one floor and talk to somebody, I think you can live with that.
I sure would like a policy on that. I know legal won't let us draft policies, so we're going to have to reinvent this wheel 6 months from now, a year from now, and over and over and over. So,
Well, maybe, but when I owned an agency, I had 2 agencies. I operated on both of them in the same company. You probably have that there too. I think that in the industry that happens a lot because there may be
talking about under the same
medical
roof.
group that doesn't want you
We're
to
on
be.
the same road.
Yeah.
Well, that subject is coming up a little later down here because we've got one business that has submitted 13 applications under the same roof, hoping to use the same location manager. Now, put that under your thinking cap because we're going to talk about it a little later for a different matter.
But I think as far as the other, I think until we change the law or have something, I think we just have to stick with the location because, you say, well, they can do 2, but they can't do 3, or they can do 3, but they can't do 4.
I mean, you're opening up a whole,
Yeah.
can I do this, can of worms. All right, well, we'll move along now to tab 3 in your books, which is the monthly complaint comparison report that I submit to you. And the top grid will show you where we were last year on September the 9th when we presented this report to you. There were 122 pending complaints, 62 of which were over our benchmark goal of 180 days to resolve for 59%. The bottom grid shows you that as of September the 5th, there were 103 pending complaints, 34 of which were over our benchmark of 180 days. So some improvement there.
Great
Yeah, that's good.
And also, just for the record, Donna mentioned the 70% performance measure. That's our departmental goal. When I took over in the spring, I think we were in the mid-60s, give or take, with our performance measure. And my direct boss came and told me yesterday that before today's complaint report, which is going to clear off a lot of the oldest of the old from Donna's grid here, and keep working towards higher percentage for our performance measure, that we're already up to 75%, and that's in like 6 months. So,
Congratulations.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Tab 4 is your proposed meeting calendar for 2013. We'd like for you to kind of adopt that so Susan can firm up these rooms. We didn't go beyond September of next year because meeting room can't be reserved for more than 360 days in advance, so we
Any kind
just,
of motion that we accept the.
So moved.
meeting agenda for next year, so moves, or second? Second, all in favor?
I'm going to be presenting each meeting, presenting you with an updated budget report. So tab 5 is what I have so far to give you for the 11 and 12 closeout budget year. That last column there where I have some figures under FY fiscal year 11 and 12, you'll see that that's preliminary figures. They have not got the final budget for, that closed out June 30th out yet, because there's always bills to pay coming in late and things to add to that budget, so we're not at the finalized point yet. But what I'll be bringing you from month to month or meeting to meeting is I'll fill in that column for fiscal year 12 and 13 and show you where we are year to date or month to month with those expenditures and then the revenue from.
Will you be able to carry out the administrative costs? I noticed that a preliminary 11, 12, you don't have any administrative costs down
Oh, for cost backs. Oh, those are cost backs that we have not, they've not averaged them out yet as the percentage of what's going to be charged to you. We've got a total, but as far as breaking it out into what part of that $112,000 is administrative, what part is investigations yet, that'll come at the final.
there. For fiscal year 10 and 11, did we have a $393,000 excess?
That was your total receipts for that fiscal year. That was a big renewal year. This year is not a renewal year, and that $199,530 is not final.
Right.
I expect that'll go over.
But out of the $393,000, what do we subtract in order to come up with a profit? That's not the right word.
Well, okay. In fiscal year, what are you looking at, 10 and 11?
Yes, ma'am.
10 and 11, there was $393,194 of net revenue. The fiscal year balance that was left over from the year before was $45,694. And then, no, I'm sorry, that was after, $45,694 was the balance after all the expenditures came out of that net revenue. Then the prior fiscal year balance was $316,029. Y'all don't see that on here.
No.
I'm just giving you the expenditures and the revenue. I'm not giving you until the end of the fiscal year. I will show you the reserve balance and the
Well,
final.
we have into the fiscal year 2011, and so if we had $393,000 in revenues, out of that revenues, what did we spend? I see 214,000.
347 was your expenditures.
Okay, I got it.
Oh.
I see, all right.
Total expenditures, total revenue. Okay.
And does that total expenditures count, include the cost backs of $132,000?
Yes, it
All right.
does.
We had a $45,000 profit.
So far this year, after your cost backs and all your expenditures, your total expenditures was $327,640. Your receipts, however, are $199,530. But you had a reserve balance left over last year of $361,000. So
Still in the black.
We're rich.
yeah, you're still in the black. You will be when we get the final.
Can we split up the money?
I don't think they would allow that.
Okay, tab, any other questions on the?
Well, let me just make sure I understand. I know we had money going into that fiscal year.
Yes.
In a heavy renewal year, we were positive 40, whatever the number is.
Yes,
some odd
45,
thousand.
yeah.
However, in a non-renewal year, we're going to potentially be in the hole
For that fiscal year.
$140,000.
Well, maybe, but I think we'll get more revenue receipts added to that.
So let's say 100,000.
Yeah.
So we should at least be mindful of the fact in the renewal years, we're a plus 40 some odd thousand. In the non-renewal year, we're minus 100,000. That can't go on forever.
No, it can't go on forever, but that's kind of the way it's been tracking over the past. I've got budgets that go back to '04. I mean, it's up and down. Up and
Right.
down, up and down.
But you see my point that, okay,
I do.
we have a fairly robust reserve, but it wouldn't last forever at that rate.
Every other year, it's gonna.
Because we renew every 2 years, so every other year.
Yes, but my point is, the year that we were heavy on renewals, we gained 40,000. The year we don't have renewals, we lose 100,000. So that nets every 2 years a minus 60,000.
Well, yes, but the state.
Theoretically.
The state takes out their administrative cost backs.
Okay.
If we get too much money, they come
We're gonna keep.
Okay.
dip into it.
All right. Okay. I just want to make sure I understood what I was looking at.
Pay if anything happens.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, are we ready for tab 6?
Yes, we are. We'll go into the location manager application review. We don't have these by name on the agenda, but if you'll look at tab 6, Susan has noted on the front page there that you're looking at why we're bringing these to you. And instead of me reading all of that, I'll just let you look at it yourself.
I think tab 6 looks like she's taking care of her business. We need a motion on each one.
Yes, please.
I didn't have a motion to accept tab 6.
I'll make that motion.
That's it.
Motion made, seconded, all in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Tab 7.
Question here on this one is that she answered no, but then in fact had some, but they have been taken care of, right?
Yes.
Could it be that she didn't even know?
I'll make a motion to accept.
I guess
Tab
I'd
Motion's
say-
been made, seconded, to accept tab 7, all in favor?
Aye.
Civil.
Copying on both sides now.
Yeah. If you look at page 8 there, we've circled what appears to be an amount overdue, but that's the only thing negative we could see on that and on that report.
Have we in the past written letters to people that would have something like this, asking them to explain?
Lots of times.
What do you think, that would be a good idea to do that, to have them have some explanation as to that?
Do you want to table this one?
Ma'am?
Do you want us to table this one?
If that depends on.
Because I started getting Judy to send them letters after the reports were reviewed. If I know if there's anything specific, because I know you guys tabled them before and asked for additional information, but with this being a civil report, I don't think she sent a letter out to them asking for additional information.
Could anybody else on the board have an opinion about that? We can just ask the administration, to just, if there are things,
Yeah, even on a civil report, ask for clarification.
okay, there's been a motion, has been a motion.
I'm
Motion table, number 8, is there a second?
Second.
Second, in favor? Aye. Tab 9.
was a negative on the credit report on this, but the creditor sent a letter saying it's been taken care of.
And we did get an updated credit report to that effect that came in yesterday.
Move we approve.
Second.
Motion been made and seconded, we approve nine, all in favor?
Aye.
You don't vote.
Yes, I am. I said aye.
Say aye.
Aye, sir.
Yes.
On this one, we asked Mr. Whitaker to look at this application, and because of the experience claimed, no, 10. He exposed experience at two different agencies, not licensed, and complaints are pending.
Well, then I think that negates the
I do too. I
yes.
moved.
Well, that's what I think, if you did.
One second, I'm gonna look again at the location.
How could we say he does when
Are we sure they were doing business in Tennessee?
Yeah, the location manager says been employed in a licensed collection service, so unless I'm missing something. The problem is, I think at least one of the firms he cited may not be before us, but I know they don't have a license. And the other one does have
Should
open
have one.
complaints and is not licensed, so, you know, I mean, he might be able to claim collection service experience broadly, but the way the statute's written, it's, you know, it's got to be licensed. I think maybe the only way you can argue around it is if, for example, there was some states or states that don't have a regulatory regime at all. I mean, I don't know of any off the top of my head because I don't know all 50 states, but
a lot of them don't?
but if, you know, if some other state didn't have what we have here, then, and what didn't require a license, then that's where he gained experience, and that would be possible.
If he worked in Kentucky for a collection agency, then that would be.
Oh, that'd be fine,
The
because
fact that you would have to redact the name of the company, that is,
Are we talking about tab 10?
yes, ma'am.
He's got negative information on his credit report though, too.
I make a motion.
I mean, that's enough for me.
That's
Motion's
second.
been made and seconded, we got 10. All in favor?
Aye.
I heard you that time, man. Tab 11.
This applicant is asking that you waive him taking another exam, because he was licensed in Tennessee from 99 to 2007. He has an explanation on page 2 as to why his license expired. So he would like for you to waive him taking another test.
I think our statute says, working in a collection agency, does it say that they have to work in a Tennessee licensed collection agency?
It just says license, I think it says Tennessee.
If in the alternative he has demonstrated to the satisfaction of the board, the applicant has adequate experience within the 3-year period on the date which the examination was administered in a business governed by the laws similar to these that govern a licensed collection service, including but not limited to FDCPA plus law. So if you like his experience, he's fine. You can waive his exam. The re-exam.
Discussion.
I think he looks pretty, he's been
Yeah.
around this business a long time.
Yeah.
I think as far as any concern about him knowing it, I don't have any.
I would make a motion that we waive the exam, the re-exam.
Motion's been made to waive the exam for tab 11.
A second.
And and seconded, all in favor, say aye. I know they did that for me too back in 1970, so.
All right, are we ready to move to tab 12? Because
Yes,
I
ma'am.
got some talking to do.
Whoa.
This applicant, there's actually different discussions we need to have regarding this applicant. As I told you a little earlier, we have,
Is this an agency applicant or?
it's an agency applicant with, as I said, two different issues. One is, as I explained to you earlier, this applicant has submitted us 13 new agency applications with one location manager to oversee all of those. A couple of those applicants have some issues that Chris is going to talk to you about regarding their complaints in other states or some lawsuits, whatever lawsuits they have. But I want to talk to you about their business structure and about why they feel like one person can oversee all 13 agencies. We went round and around asking them to explain their business practice, their structure, why they have 13 businesses with one and the same address and hoping to have the same location manager. So finally I got with Ms. Marion, and I think Sagalang is her name, Sangalang, and she sent me this email on September the 10th, and I'd like to read it into the record so you'll see what we're dealing with. She said she thought long and hard how to best explain the details of our telephone conversation the week preceding. Don't want to cover or overcomplicate the matter, so I'm going to be as simple as possible and exclude some attachments. She said each of the entities, and I had asked her to explain their structure again with what they do under the same roof with 13 different entities. She said each of the entities that are requesting a collection license in the state of Tennessee are in the business of acquiring consumer credit card debt, or debt buyer. Each of the entities are separate LLCs. Each of the entities have an agreement with the Bureaus, Inc. to act as the master servicer for the accounts that the entity purchases. And she's given some attachments later we'll look at. Each of the entities have a separate business plan. Each of the entities file separate taxes. Each of the entities have members, and they name a person who is a member of all of the entities. He is also the owner of the Bureaus, Inc., who is the master servicer. Each of the entities uses the same physical address in Illinois. The master servicer, the Bureaus, Inc., also uses that address in Illinois. The law indicates the owner of the, and she's talking about Tennessee law, indicates the owner of the debt must be listed as the plaintiff when/if sued is filed against a consumer in the state of Tennessee. The law indicates that the act of filing suit is deemed collecting a debt in the state of Tennessee. And she hopes that explains their situation. So, I think what we've got is a business, a corporation, who all of these individuals are filing and acting as separate LLC and entities under this master servicer.
So,
I don't understand this.
Well, didn't we have this discussion? We had this discussion, I thought we had with Terrence, and I thought we were all right with this idea, because I understand that the plaintiff has to be listed in the lawsuit. I didn't think that just by virtue of that we felt like a debt buyer. You see what's going on here. They buy the debt, and then when they sue, they have to put their name on it. That's all they're doing.
Right.
They're not sending, well, we had the issue with Terrence was because they would want to send that letter.
Right.
But I didn't think we really had an issue with him just about the filing of the suit.
I thought they were okay if they owned the debt and they filed the suit in their name.
Right.
There's nothing
Because
wrong.
then they're like the first party. They're not like a third party collector.
But are they doing it to protect the master company? Setting all of these up individually, so if one is sued, it doesn't affect the...
that's not what she's saying. I think what she's saying is she thinks that because of in Tennessee, in order to comply, because they are going to be listing the owner in a lawsuit, and that she's reading the statute of saying that that means that they're changing collective debt, that each individual entity needs to be licensed, even though they're not doing any collection activity. They're having the main bureau do all of their collections for them.
Well, she did tell me that on the telephone, and like that she had gotten this information. She said our lawyer tells us we have to do it this way because of Tennessee state law.
Yeah.
I
I don't
think
think
we're-
she does.
You do or
So-
don't?
I don't.
So you,
That's what we
Well,
talked about before.
they're wanting to buy 16 licenses. And is there any reason why we should?
well, that's what I was
Oh,
gonna
so
say.
they're probably not.
We can question whether they really need to do that in the structure, but their counsel is telling them
To buy a license.
to buy a license for each entity. And the question that you're asking us is about the location manager.
Exactly.
And I would suggest, in my opinion, one location manager should be able to manage that entire operation, no matter what the actual name of the entities are, or how many there are under that roof.
As long as they're in the same location.
Yes.
And understand that even though they may not, I have no idea what the organizing documents for each of these entities say, but even if it doesn't say it explicitly, these are probably all 100% subsidiaries of the parent, business, whatever group. So,
It's kind of almost like a limited partnership sort of setup, maybe, where they get different investors to buy different credit
Yeah.
card portfolios.
That's what
But
I think.
really, in the end, it all looks like one operation, probably.
it does, but for whatever reason, their counsel and folks in charge think that there's some sort of financial and or business advantage to structuring it that way, and as long as they're in compliance with the law, it's up to them to decide what
That's my-
advantages they have
I
or
agree
don't
with
have
that.
by doing it that way.
So with that in mind, I move that we allow or approve one location manager to manage all of those entities
I'll second.
At the same address.
at the same address. That's the key. Everything's right
All
there.
on the same roof.
A motion's been made and seconded, and for the purpose of maybe a little bit of discussion, if they were naming their companies in a way that perhaps would deceive the consumer, then I think I'd have a problem with it. Like if they were buying Bank of America debt and they said, collection agency of B of A, then and then go to Key Bank and so forth, I think I'd have a problem doing that. But they're just going 16, 17, 18, 19.
Portfolio number
Yeah,
one,
yeah.
portfolio number two. Whether they put that on their billing statements or not, their portfolio numbers.
Any other
See.
discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Now, on the same business entity, Chris is going to talk to you about their, one or two of them, maybe, the problem he has with lawsuits.
Mr. Chairman, can we take a 5-minute recess?
Yes, sir.
Glad to.
Yeah, it works for me.
Welcome back. We'll reconvene the meeting. Chris, you want to finish up your hamburger there?
It's a snack, it's not a hamburger.
All one is
Sorry, I got here so early this morning that I was starving because I had no breakfast, so.
Oh.
And I'm going at it out.
They need a
so.
Or, yeah.
Next week will be working on cash
Is, yeah, listen, if you just rub it in. I think on tab 12 that Chris is going to talk to you about, we included copies of the lawsuits they say they have against them. On pages.
We're on 12. Are we on?
No, they got blue flags? Yeah, we're still on
Okay.
Told you there's two issues. Okay, we did one.
Sorry, go.
The first blue tab. Yeah, the first blue tab. Chris.
Okay. The letter from Attorney Genevieve Daniels dated November 23rd of 11, which marked pages 83 and 84 in the tab. I'm not going to read the whole thing for the record, but I'm an attorney that represents Bureau's Investment Group LLC. It represents BIG and its members, Michael Slotke, Burton Slotke, and James Janusik. They're all involved in litigation pending before the Circuit Court of Cook. There are two lawsuits, it looks like. The first one is a 2009 lawsuit that appears to be, and this is not a hot mess. There are claims back and forth, breach of fiduciary duty, fraud, who owns the place, is this person a member? And the fact that, the case has been going on since 2009 or 2012 tells you something about what kind of litigation this is. And then also, this Bureau Investment Group company filed an additional lawsuit against one of the members, Mr. Janusik, for allegedly not doing certain things related to making sure that licenses for BIG and any subsidiaries are kept up appropriately. The issue is, just based on this letter, we can't say that this company or the 15 other agency licenses they want to buy, we can't say it's grounds for denial because their financials are bad, because they're not financials are fine. Based on the board's just made determination, they will have the one location manager for the multiple entities in the same location. The concern is, at least in my mind, you have an application that sets forth a membership and ownership structure. Well, in this case, that whole membership and ownership structure appears to be at least impartially disputed status right now in court. Because depending on what the court rules and exactly what they say has to be done, one of these people might not even be in them, even though the application says he's in them. So, that could be an issue. And just this, I would like the board to consider there are qualifications of an applicant. Goes down the list. No license to conduct or operate a business shall be issued to any person who is not trustworthy, does not have proven reputation for honest and fair dealings. And it goes down there, but I really think those are the only two sections for applicant qualifications the board can cite if it were inclined to deny the application for a license. But then on the other hand, people have a legal right to file lawsuits to vindicate their rights in civic businesses. So it's just, it's certainly an issue. I mean, if the board would like to perhaps table this matter, not the location manager decision, because I think that could stand either way, but the larger question about the agency app itself for the Bureau's investment group, if you wanted to wait until I could speak with Ms. Daniels and get more information about, what's exactly going on here? What's the nature of this thing? Is it expected to be resolved anytime soon? Are you saying that it's like one bad apple in the business that otherwise is good, or that the whole thing is going to collapse and fall down upon itself if an adverse judgment is issued?
Are you only talking about portfolio number 15? Or are you talking about all 13, 14, 15 applicants?
Well, Ms. Daniels' letter says represents Bureau's Investment Group LLC. So it's the whole thing.
Well, not all of them disclosed that, did they? I thought it was only 3 applicants that disclosed this kind of.
looking at page 70, I'm just looking at page 77, and it's talking about Bureau's investment group portfolios number 1 through 16, I guess. 12, 13, and 14 are missing, but is it just 3?
There's just 3 there. I never saw that. Chris didn't have to look at those. There's at least 3 that are in the book. This slot.
I assume that Janowski is estranged from the other 2 principals. Is that right?
It kind of looks that way because there are, 2 lawsuits, and both of them involve Janusik as the adverse party, where, it looks like Big is trying to say Janusik is not a member, and he's saying he is, and then Big is also saying that he didn't do certain licensing things, and that is yet to be determined for a while. So,
Personally, and we're just talking here right now, I'm not asking for a motion yet, but it seems like that until there is some court disposition, that we settle our matters this court, apparently, then they are a company. In other words, Janowski is a member of this LLC group.
but that would have to be the operative legal presumption, I would think, because, saying, okay, well, this is a company, okay, it's still a company. It's just a matter of, we're disputing who's a member or not, and what this person allegedly did or didn't. So, I guess what it comes down to is if the board feels that the overall company and the 2 Mr. Slotkys, Michael and Burton, are sufficiently in charge of things to make sure things go on as scheduled pending the outcome of this court proceeding. Now, if the board is inclined to grant a license, then I would make sure that these folks are notified that when these 2 lawsuits are disposed of, we want to know about them, and we want to see what happened.
And the ownership of the company changes, we have a right to know.
That's right. So, it's up in the air, but I think that a presumption can be made that what they submitted with their application is at least accurate for now. And if the court says, okay, Janusik, you're not a member, which means you're not a 20% owner or whatever percent owner he is, then I think the board can address it at that time.
Look, let me ask a question. Let's say they told us this Michael Slotsky is the owner of the umbrella, or the parent company, who is they call the master servicer. Let's say there's some problem, he is sued, parent company is found guilty of whatever. How does that affect these others that he's also members of and actually owns these other portfolio businesses? Will there be disciplinary action trickling down to them?
Well, say it's a parent company, but that question would have to be answered when we know if it's really and truly the parent is separate up here and these are wholly owned just under the same roof, or whether, these are a true parent subsidiary corporation, which means they actually have their own separate legal obligations and stuff. And at least where we are right now, if they believe that they have an obligation to obtain 16 separate licenses, then, that at least creates a presumption that if Mr. Slotkey, as one of the owners, has a problem, then
You can discipline 16 companies?
might have to, but I think the board should at least know about it, so they can make a determination, because if Mr. Slotkey as owner, and participant in the parent group, gets a money judgment against him, and that money judgment is ruled incorrect
liquidation. We turned it down because they filed bankruptcy, but we found out later we can't do that, and so we gave them their license back. The point of the matter is that OSI, I don't know how many collection agencies are under their portfolio wing. It was huge. I mean, if somebody wanted to own a collection agency, they could do any number of things with their
Like a franchise type thing?
No, it was.
They bought them.
OSI bought a bunch of collection agencies, and somebody, I think the NCO bought OSI.
Yeah, they did.
But OSI filed for bankruptcy. But we as board said, well, if you file bankruptcy, you're not managing your business well, or whatever the statute says. You denied the license. They got their license, and before there got to be a big problem, they sold it out.
So what are we saying here, that we're inclined to grant this license, or, and I can kind of see it both ways. It seems like our information's a bit incomplete.
I think we've already decided to do that, Chip. I think what Chris is wanting to do is just give us a heads up that there may be some issue down the road with this.
I know we granted the location manager license, but are you asking for us to make a decision about granting their collection agency licenses now?
Based on their disclosed lawsuits and disciplinary disclosures.
The lawsuits themselves do not prove, again, financial irresponsibility
No.
or
And that's why I think we have
insolvency
to
or
approve.
whatever.
Okay.
What's
I
the
move to approve.
motion's been made to approve. Before we take a second, maybe I don't know Rob, if you know about this, but what is their disciplinary action? I didn't read that. There's some disciplinary action against this company? No. Okay. Just a loss. The motion's been made is to approve.
I second.
Rob, and seconded. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Thank you.
Tab 13 is a new company application. They answered yes to civil actions pending and judgments in the last 7 years. Explanations for those are on pages 6 and 7. We did have Mr. Whitaker look at this application also, and he made a recommendation that he would be for approval based on the low percentage of accounts in litigation.
Yeah, I've taken a look at this, I make a motion.
I second.
Motion's made and seconded that we approve tab 13. All in favor?
Aye.
Tab 14 is an agency application as well. We are keeping the names of these agencies confidential, especially this one, since ownership changes will be finalized until sometime in October. They're requesting the name of their entity and parties involved to be kept confidential. But they did answer yes to civil actions pending and judgments in the last 7 years. Their financial statement begins on page 60. Mr. Whitaker looked at this also, and he said their assets are more than their liabilities. There are less than 100 complaints for this size company is a lot, and they appear to be handling them, and he recommends approval.
Move we approve.
And what I meant by handling it is the report, there was a report submitted along with this application that gave an updated status and timeline for each of the legal cases that they're involved in. And it started with a description of when the case started, what it was, and was current all the way up to the date that they submitted it. So, I mean, you really can't be any more on top of it than that.
Motion's been made to accept approve tab 14 for a license. Is there a second?
Second.
And seconded. All in favor? Aye.
And that's it.
All right. If there's no other business to come before the Election Service Board, I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
Thank y'all very much.
Thank y'all.
All right, I have to move this, yeah.
Is
Yeah.
she made-